This video is going to show how to create, screw, and attach your letter to your base. So the first thing you want to do is find a suitable piece of wood that's wide enough. You use the router table and you're going to use that to create that profile. So you can see I'm holding it tightly. Next I go to the sanding table. I sand off any of the fur or fuzz left behind from the router. You got to do your edges so there's no burn marks. That's important because the router will create little burn marks. You have to remember to turn that table on so that the suction system works. There you can see I'm hand sanding the edges. Next you got to get a hammer because the next part you're going to be nailing or driving your name into the back of your project. It's really important. You can see if you watch closely, I'm testing the piece on a scrap board. Now I'm putting my tools away. Really important. You always put your tools away in the proper location. I can't stress that enough. If people don't put tools back, no one will be able to find them, and you have a very dangerous shop because there's all kinds of clutter. The next thing I'm going to do is sand the bottom again because I used a pencil on it to mark my name, so I got the spelling right. Believe it or not, when you're using the punch set, sometimes kids get carried away and I put the wrong letter in the wrong place. Now I'm darkening the actual punch marks in with my pencil. Next thing I'm going to do is apply the stain. The stain's really easy to put on. You just put it on, it works all on its own. You have to wash your brush, clean it really well. That's so important. Now this part, I'm going to line up my letter, make sure it's all perfectly centered, and glue it. All the glue is going to do is hold it together in preparation for the screws. Now the second coat of wax is really the important one, but this is the first coat. So you can see I'm taking my time and I'm applying that wax very carefully so I don't get it on the letter and the base at the same time. So first I did the base. Now you can see I'm working on the letter. You can't drag your brush from the letter down onto the base because you'll pull the paint, because the paint's a water-based paint. So not until that first coat's done can you go ahead and paint the whole project. You have to paint half at a time. So it's the letter and the base. Now I'm showing how to properly wash a brush. This is important. You must use soap and water. You're going to get it on your hands. If it's paint or if it's wax, you're going to get it on your hands. You have to wash and clean the paintbrush, dry it out so it's ready. Now you can see I'm sanding very lightly. I'm using hand sandpaper only, no machines here. That gets rid of the scruff or the rough bits that's been brought up by the wax. I hope you noticed that I had used a rag there to dust it off. Now here's the second coat of wax. This one goes on really fast because you don't have to worry about dragging the wax back and forth from the base to the letter. But you do have to be careful not to get bubbles in it. Now here's the next step. You're going to get the screws, the drill bits, the drill drivers, the countersink, and the actual machine, the drill. And that's going to be what you attach all your pieces together with. So we're going to leave the cabinet here and go over to the table after I've closed the doors, trying to keep the shop organized. Now, this is a scrap board. We're going to do a test here to find out if I have the right size drill bits. The drill bit's really important. If you have the wrong size drill bit for the screw, you're going to have a loose hole, which isn't going to do anything. So it's really important that you get the proper size screw. And here you can see, hopefully, I'm using the drill index to try to find the right size drill bit. I've found that it's a 1/8 drill bit. So here we go. Let's try to put a 1/8 drill bit into the wood. So we're going to drill. You have to go straight down so you have a nice plumb cut or a straight down drill hole so that your drill goes perfectly. Now I'm using a countersink. The countersink's important so that the head of the screw is below the surface. Next, that's a number 2 Robinson driver. It fits the screw perfectly. You just saw I used the drill index to drag it across to see if it was below the surface. Now I can go ahead and actually do my project. I've tested it. I'm happy with the size of drill bit. I know what I'm doing. So here we go. We're going to get the drill plugged in. I've got to find that drill bit again. So once again, you try it. There it is. Here's the drill bit. You got to fuss for it. It's a small bit, so it'll be buried down in the drills. We put it in our drill. We chuck it with the chuck key so it's tight. There's our nice plumb cut. And we remove the drill bit and we go. The next step is the countersink. Got to get the right one. Here it is. Tighten it. Drill it. And dust it off. Next thing we're going to do, get that number 2 Red Robinson bit. Tighten it. Chuck it. Put your screws in. Pull the trigger lightly here. Do not strip your screws. That's why you did a test run on the scrap piece. Here we go. Now it's connected. I'm happy. We're going to wrap up our cord. This is important. You must make sure that you wrap your tools up properly before you put them away. Otherwise, the cords are all over the room. Here we go. Last coat of wax. This is the easiest one. You just apply the wax. Don't put it on too thick because you don't want it all over the place with runs. Take your time here. Enjoy what you're doing. You'll be very pleased with the results. Once again, wash up, clean your brush, and let's put all of our tools away. There's the driver bits, there's the drill bits, the drill card, and we're going to put our machine back, close the doors, and I hope you guys figured this out. It's a very easy project. You just have to make sure you follow all the steps properly.